Okay, let me get this straight. Mainstream and social media can't stop talking about and reporting on that Josh Duggar had child pornography on his computer, but they remain strangely silent that George Cacioppo, one of the senior vice presidents for the Sony Corporation, specifically PSN, the PlayStation Network, allegedly solicited sex with a 15-year-old boy. Something is rotten in Denmark and in the United States and around the world. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it would seem like there are people in social media and corporate media circles that don't want to expose people in their own ranks for the perverts and predators they actually are. Yeah, but we don't mind exposing the lesser predators, because that's the way we roll. Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it.
First thing I wanted to cover was this Josh Duggar story. They come off as this wholesome family, and maybe they are, and this former TV personality went rogue or something, but it says, former reality star Josh Duggar convicted on child porn possession charges. I always think, man, okay, so how did they catch him, and what are the ramifications? What are the long-term ramifications for how this affects the rest of us? In other words, yeah, it's bad for somebody to be engaged in, child pornography and all that kind of stuff. That's definitely bad, no doubt about that. But on the other side of it, are they running this story so that they can get the public on board to applaud and amen the surveillance apparatus? You got to think about, man, there's such a convoluted web, interconnected web of psychological operations going on all the time. You got to just stop and think, okay, why are they wanting my consent for this? Why are they wanting to further strengthen their grip on me by getting me to not just accept, but demand the chains of my own enslavement here? What's going on?
Well, in the courtroom today was Duggar's family, including his brothers and sisters and his father. Duggar's father, Jim Bob, did release a statement to 4029 News saying, "We just want the truth to come out, and we appreciate your prayers for our family." Meanwhile, the private digital forensics expert, who we told you about yesterday, remained on the stand for the majority of the day. She testified that someone other than Duggar could have been watching the child pornography remotely through Duggar's Wi-Fi network. She said the Wi-Fi network at Duggar's work was extremely vulnerable, and a cyber attack is a possibility. She also testified that she could confirm a cyber attack if the router was seized as evidence. She said,
"Oh, I hate these signs right here. Look at this. We want you to be unarmed, and we want you to be a victim in our courtroom. Now, we'll have our security guards armed, and they'll be protected. And don't worry, if something goes down, they'll protect you." Yeah, no thanks. I'll protect myself. That's why I don't like walking into buildings like this.
That through the router, she could see what devices were accessing the network during May of 2019. Now, during the rebuttal, the prosecution called back a Department of Justice computer forensics expert who had conflicting testimony. He said routers are not critical and that someone was sitting at the HP computer watching the child pornography. When the prosecution asked who they believe was behind the computer, he said Joshua Duggar. Again, Joshua Duggar is charged with both receiving and possessing child pornography. If convicted on both counts, he does face up to 20 years in prison and fines of up to $250,000 on each count. Again, closing arguments do begin here at the federal courthouse tomorrow.
So this guy could go to jail for 20 years. And guys, this is egregious, okay? Having anything to do with that kind of garbage is just horrible. But this guy could go to jail for 20 years having something on his computer that really didn't affect a whole lot of other people out there. But Jesse Smollett could be charged on 5 of 6 counts of literally attempting to spark a race war and lying to the police about it. and he gets just a slap on the wrist and maybe he'll just get probation. But this guy could go up the river for 20 years for something on his computer. To me, what Jussie Smollett did had far greater negative societal ramifications than what this guy's doing. There's no pass here, but if he should go up the river for 20 years, Smollett should probably go up the river for the rest of his life. Race wars are no joke, and that's what Jussie Smollett was doing. We already know that he was declared guilty by the jury, so we can say right now, we don't have to say allegedly. The guy, you know what? Racism was so hard to find for a black gay man in Chicago, that he had to hire 2 black men to pretend that there's racism in the world to such an extent that somebody would put a noose around this guy's neck, pour bleach on him, which isn't a possibility from the physics standpoint in a polar vortex, a negative 43-degree polar vortex. I think bleach freezes is like negative 17 or 17. I think it's 17 degrees. I think bleach freezes at 17 degrees. And then when you pour it into the cold, frigid air, it would just become powder. Have you ever seen that? People will take hot water on like a negative 20-degree day and throw it up into the air, and it becomes snow. This guy had so many freaking lies, but the whole time he kept his cell phone and his sub sandwich in his hand. I'll tell you what, Juicy Smollett, if you like footlongs, well, there's a prison cell waiting for you, but he's not going to see any prison time. That's not how the system works. A federal jury in Arkansas on Thursday convicted former reality TV star Josh Duggar of downloading and possessing child pornography. Totally egregious, guys. Totally egregious. The jury of 6 men and 6 women began deliberations shortly after noon Wednesday. After a break Wednesday evening, they came back and released their verdict Thursday morning. Duggar was convicted of 1 count of receipt of child pornography. Who does that? How messed up does your mind have to be to download a picture like that? Who are you? How did you get to this point in your life? I mean, those are the dregs right there. That's the bottom of the barrel. That's outside of the barrel, underneath in the ground. That's how low that is. And 1 count of possession of child pornography. Each charge carries a maximum penalty of each charge. So if he gets pinned for both of these, he goes to jail for 40 years and a $500,000 fine. Police arrested Duggar earlier this year. Federal prosecutors say he used a torrent service to download images. He knew it was wrong. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew it was perverted. He knew it was downright evil. He knew he wouldn't want, somebody viewing pictures of his child like that. Police arrest Duggar earlier this year. Federal prosecutors say that he used a torrent service to download images showing the sexual abuse of toddlers and other children onto a computer in May 2019. Both the prosecution and defense called the computer experts to the stand. Guys, if they can see what Josh Duggar did on his computer, you know that they can see what Brian Stelter does on his, or Jakey the Snake Tapper, or Sean Hannity, but you don't see those people coming out in the news, do you? If it's that easy for them to dig up this kind of digital information, why didn't we know the whole time what Bill Clinton was doing on his computer, what Hillary Clinton is doing on her computer? That's how easy it is, they say, for them to get this kind of information. Both the prosecution and defense called computer experts to the stand. Testimony centered on how certain it was that Duggar was the one who used his work computer to download the child pornography in question. The prosecution used geolocation, timestamps, and text messages to link Duggar to his Springdale car lot at around the time the child pornography was downloaded. If they can do this for him, they can do it for anybody. Why aren't they? Done. We got it. Here we go. This is exactly where Bill Clinton was. We used geolocation, we used timestamps, and we used his text messages to show you exactly where Billy Boy was when he was doing all this kind of stuff with young girls. Or Jeffrey Epstein or whoever. Come on. The defense argued that the content could have been downloaded, the material remotely by another person or at the car lot. The final prosecutor's witness called on Monday was this guy right there, Holt, a family friend of the Duggars. Holt testified about an incident on March 30th, 2003, where Duggar allegedly touched the private parts of 4 juveniles aged 5 to 12. If that's true, this guy's a dirtbag. This guy's a dirtbag. but no less a dirtbag than the Juicy Smollets of the world who try to spark a race war. Keep that in mind. He got charged on all 5 counts. Juicy Smollett got charged on 5 of the 6 counts, and he probably won't see the inside of the jail for 1 second. Oh, we're going to give you some public service and put you on probation for about 3 years. We know you almost sparked a race war. What's the words of Hawk Newsom? If black people don't get their freedoms, we will burn this country to ashes.
Give black people their rights, or we will burn this country to ashes.
That's potentially what could have happened if it was proven that, oh, these white men actually did scream to Juicy Smollett, you effing, you know what? You're in MAGA country now, in the heart of Chirac, Chicago. He gives the Osendero brothers $3,500 or a couple $100 to go to the Crafty Beaver in Chicago, a craft shop, to buy the rope and all the stuff that they need, and the bleach and all the stuff that they needed to conduct this little acting operation there.
While we have time and it still retains some of its perceived value, maybe it'd be a good idea to convert your worthless fiat into valuable, storable food. Don't be the one who waits till the food riots start happening. You don't want to be fighting panicking people in the store over that last jar of peanut butter. At Prepare with High Impact Flicks, you can get up to 3 air and watertight gasket sealed ammo cans, each filled with a 4-week emergency supply. 7 food varieties, 2,000 calories a day, 284 servings, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and each meal comes in a resealable, heavy-duty 4-layered pouch. And it's got a 25-year shelf life. Every order of a 4-week supply gets you $100 off plus free shipping. Here's how simple it is to make. I'm going to cook up some Granny's home-style potato soup. People are going to think I'm a culinary hero. You open the pouch, boil 4.5 cups of water, stir the contents, simmer on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes, take it off the heat, then let it set for 2 to 3 minutes before you serve it up.
Man, this stuff's so good. People are going to think Granny stopped by and filled your kitchen with a whole bunch of love.
Well, if Granny does stop by, she's going to fill your behind with a whole bunch of buckshot if you keep talking with your mouth full. Wipe your dang beard off. It's embarrassing. So maybe convert some of your worthless fiat into valuable food while you still can. Order now and get $100 off of up to 3 4-week emergency food supplies at preparewithhighimpactflix.com. The link is in the description.